Hey Internet, hey YouTube, this is Nate. You can also call me Nathan, please never call me Nathaniel, and welcome to episode 2 of Builds to Outlast Divinity. This time we're going to talk about kind of an interesting clan combo, and there are kind of two paths to go, so I'm not going to give this one a name verbally, I'll have to title it after. The clan combo is Tethys, Titansbane, plus... Melting Remnant with Dregs. This was a request on Reddit as the #1 requested clan combo to try to do a guide on. So you'll know the name before I do at this point because it will have already shown on the screen. But let me jump into the logbook. And the reason why I say it kind of goes two paths. So one is what I will call the ultimate incant build. So if you look at Tethys as a champion, out of the 3 upgrade paths, ideally, you're going to do something around Conduit. And the main reason why is Conduit enables the strongest of all of the Incant style builds, right? So with Conduit, you just take all the damage spells that you can get. You get a bunch of Incanters, and you go like wild, right? So that's one path you can go. What makes it a little bit complicated with Conduit is that Dregs as a starting unit aren't spells and they don't incant. So there's another path you can go, which is the all melting remnant path. And here I actually really like taking either Chillwind or handheld totem, and I don't like taking conduit. The main reasons why is with handheld totem, if you do a kind of melting remnant oriented build using specifically like Wicklash or Reform, you can get a really strong Tethys with Sweep and then blast enemies when they get to the top floor with big spells. Or you can go with Chillwind and build out some AoE with either spells or with tombs and things like that, or Legion of Wax, things like that, to hit the back line, and then use Chillwind as your boss killer. So this is kind of a tough one. So rather than showing one build, we're kind of going to talk about the 2 different directions. So let's first, and by the way, don't mix and match. Pick a path, either Conduit or one of the others. If you don't get Conduit, I would pick personally handheld totem, but Chillwind also works. Chillwind's certainly better early game than handheld totem. So you can kind of like decide out there. But if you pick one of the other paths, I would go all in on Melting Remnant, and we'll talk about what that means. If you pick Conduit, avoid a lot of the Melting Remnant stuff, or at least a lot of the Melting Remnant Reform type stuff, and instead hone in on Incant. And reiterate, don't mix and match. Pick a path and stick to it. Let's start with the Incant, or what I like to call the ultimate Incant style build. So in this case, you want your big damage spells. So let me type this in really quick. Your big damage spells are going to be things like Ancient Synergy, Crypt Builder, Titan's Tooth, Helical Crystallis, and I typically avoid, you can take them, you can take things like Ice Tornado, Ice Storm, I typically avoid them, and the reason why is front damage is much more reliable in terms of hitting targets, especially during the Divinity fight, and that tends to me, for me, to be the priority. I want to make sure I'm killing the unit I want to kill. So straight up AoE, straight up front base damage, or targeted damage with like Flash Freeze tends to be really strong. And what I like to do, oftentimes you'll end up with a Mollusk Mage as your starting unit. So looking at Mollusk Mage again, and if you... There it is. If you end up with 2 Mollusk Mages, which can often happen in the beginning, I really like to keep it. I used to kind of yeet these pretty early on, but especially in an incant-oriented build, it's only 1 capacity. And if you put it onto itself, it's going to be a unit that has 15 damage, 10 damage, 6 health, and then plus 10 magic power, or plus 20 in total, which ends up being really valuable on a lot of these spells that are AoE, multi-hit, or have, what's it called, where you do extra damage. And then all you have to do is put some like health on it or get some type of sustain. Okay, so let's imagine you do that. What are your priority incant units? There's a couple of varieties, and it depends on how your build goes. So number one, if you can get it, you get any of the rares. So any of the rare units here are amazing. Offering Monument allows you to get insane first turns. Eel Gorgon allows you to get a really, really stacked Eel Gorgon. And then Lodestone allows you to get kind of all the sap and protect, as well as protect not only Tethys and the floor, but also protect the pyre by limiting the damage if there are leaks. I would say in order of value, I would put Lodestone first, Eel Gorgon second, and then Offering Monument third. So these are like your number one priorities. You take one of these three over basically anything else. So that's the first thing. Also, there's some really cool synergies with Offering Monument and Melting Remnant you can do. There are some infinites that you can do between these two, so that's also a possibility. But primarily, Lodestone, Eel Gorgon, it's like auto pick. You just take them. Even if you don't take Eel Gorgon as itself, its essence is like the best multi-strike essence because 2 cost doesn't matter, right? Or an extra cost doesn't really matter. Lodestone, Incant, or you can do this. I typically don't, depending on the unit. But you can also take its essence and put it onto something else too. If you would rather, maybe you put it on a Siren and you want the Siren scaling, but you also want the sap, it's fine. Anyway, so you want one of these rares. Then, apart from the damage spells, other units that are going to be really good are going to be your Guardian Stones. You're going to be your Sirens, so Nameless Siren and Siren of the Sea. I don't particularly love Glacial Seal. I find it to be quite slow. And Frostbite builds in general tend to be pretty tough these days. Guard of the Unnamed is also not particularly great. His scaling isn't as amazing compared to some of the other units. You can take him if you don't have anything else and you need some way to like just block damage. But he tends to struggle a lot. So for me, like number one priorities would be Siren of the Sea, Guardian Stone, and then after that, maybe taking like a Nameless Siren if you need it. Titan Sentry as a standalone is always going to be good. So you could take a Titan Sentry, give it Endless, infuse it on itself, and put it on the bottom floor. That will clear, during the Divinity fight, that will clear all of the backliners and oftentimes soften up a lot of the mid units as well. And will also protect your Pyre a bit because of all of the damage that hits Titan Sentry and all that Frostbite. Even if something leaks, it's not going to do nearly as much damage because of all the Frostbite that's been stacked up previously. So I would say, again, Lodestone would be number one, Eel Gorgon number two, maybe Siren of the Sea, Guardian Stone about equal, and so on. Now, if you don't get Sap and you don't have a Guardian Stone, the other thing that's absolutely essential is you need one of the 2 days spells. Or one of, actually, now there's 4. If we're talking Melting Remnant, there are 4 of them. So you have Frenzied Swarm and Siren Song. And if you go Siren Song, what I like to do, depending on the cost of your unit, if you can handle it, is to double stack an Intrinsic. That way you get 6 days right at the beginning, and that will save you for a long time. Like, you just play it once, and then, like, you're good for a while. Plus, the double stack on the Siren Song means that oftentimes, if you just have a Siren Song by itself and you play it, and then it goes up to the pyre, they'll just kill the pyre because there's just not enough days. But usually 6 is enough. So if you double stack it, Intrinsic, you can do that first turn, 6 days. That tends to be quite good. And then Frenzied Swarm is the other, right? This would be your 2 main ones from Stygian Guard. There's also 2 in Melting Remnant, Dripfall and Mortal Entrapment. Mortal Entrapment's actually quite good in this build because Conduit's going to make it free. It's very easy to just hit with any damage spell at all onto Divinity, or even just after the first turn, and then you can just constantly Mortal Entrapment for free. Dripfall also works. Dripfall, similar to Frenzied Swarm, only it's for a single target, which is sometimes better. Sometimes you want to have the other units not dazed and you just want to daze Divinity, then Dripfall is going to be better. I would say that's more rare. More commonly, you would want the entire floor to be dazed. Just depends on how your build is set up. But you're going to need one of these. If you're not doing, again, Sap, if you're doing Sap, you're good. If you're doing Armor, you're probably good, depending on how quickly the Armor scales. Otherwise, it's dangerous. Okay? That's the Incant side. Big damage spells, daze if you need it, Incant units. Pivot. Now we could talk about the second type of build. This is the Melting Remnant build. Now, all different kinds of Melting Remnant builds you can do. I mean, you can just literally take a Bounty Stalker and try to win that way. You can take... The tombs tend to be really, really strong in these Tethys builds because they just keep getting endless, especially Stealth Tomb, sorry. Tends to be a really, really good way of keeping Tethys alive, quite strong. And Tethys can be reformed, as I said, especially if you're playing with the sweep and AoE, the handheld totem. I really like getting stealth and then just being able to stack up a bunch of damage onto Tethys, or alternatively stacking up a bunch of spell weakness and then blasting them with spells on the top floor, but that tends to be a little bit more complicated. Easier, definitely. Just get big units, get your scaling units, get your Legion of Wax, Bounty Stalker. If you don't have those, get drafts, mix them up with Paraffin Enforcers. You can get Wickless Barons. Just get something that's really scalable within Melting Remnant. And then with Tethys, Tethys' role is just to inflict damage if you're going Chillwind, and inflict back damage if you are going Sweep. And especially if you can get Wicklash. Wicklash is amazing on Sweep Tethys because you can just scale so much damage on the Sweep and then just like blast through enemies very quickly. So especially if you get something like a Paraffin Enforcer who's also going to generate Rage on top of all of that Wicklash damage, you can get a lot of damage very, very quickly. And the advantage here is if you go all in on this like Reform style or get Endless, like Tethys can die and it's fine. So that's one part. The other thing you can also consider is if, for example, if you're going like, if you don't have a lot of Reform and you're just going with like endless units, so let's say you get like a Legion of Wax, right? And you're doing like a Legion of Wax style build, and you're worried to play Tethys, you can hold Tethys. You can even permafrost Tethys. You can get something like, you can get Preserve Tethys, and just wait until Relentless. Like, you don't, Tethys, especially in Divinity fights, you don't need to play her right up front if she's not Conduit. If she's Conduit, you're going to need her out. You're going to need a way to protect her. If she's not Conduit, you can play all your Melting Remnant stuff. You know, do your Reform build, get your Stealth build rolling, and then just drop Tethys at the end for Relentless. Especially if you're playing Chillwind, that's what I would recommend. You play like bottom floor, bunch of Melting Remnant crap. You're blowing things up with explosive and tombed explosives. You're killing things with some of your strong units, and then you just drop Tethys to kill Divinity. Absolutely works because that Frostbite only gets eliminated when it's between turns. So the cleanse only happens, the purify only happens at the end of the round. So you can stack up all of that Frostbite during the actual Divinity combat and you usually make out pretty well. And then, yeah, I mean, then you're looking at basically your typical Melting Remnant packages. Burnout-based, Reform-based, Endless-based, Harvest-based, and just go all in on that side. So again, don't mix and match, pick a side. I typically prefer the Conduit Incant style build. I think it's a little bit more straightforward. But if you don't get Conduit, try to go all in on these Melting Remnant side and make it work. In terms of artifacts, so big artifacts, it really depends on which direction you're going to go. But Light's Gift tends to be very solid in general as a way to protect Tethys for most of the game. And then during Divinity, you'll need to find another answer. But up until then, it tends to be quite good. Split Anvil can be really good to enable your non-damage spells. Because even if you have a high damage spell and you play it with Conduit, it will still trigger... it'll still trigger Split Anvil. So you can play like your 3-cost spell with Conduit, and then all of your 2- and 1-cost spells that are not damage spells will become free, or your damage spells will become free and you can play them on other floors. Other things that tend to be quite good. I'm a big fan of Conscription Notice in these builds because Tethys only takes up 1 capacity. You can add easily another 1 capacity unit and can be very, very strong together with Tethys. Drop Cage you have two different enablers for drop cage. You have Dripfall and you have Siren Song. So you can get a lot of extra days out of your day spells if you can get drop cage with either one of those. Both of the champion upgrades, it really depends. Mark of a Champion's quite good with Chillwind. Otherwise, I would kind of skip these. You just don't have enough health to really justify increasing health in addition. And then looking at like specifics within the clan, double Incant's obviously going to be very huge. I'm a big fan also of where is it? Rules of Containment, similar to Jack Strips, as a way to kind of clear out backliners that are going to be really tough to target. A lot of the spells you're going to get in this are going to be front burst or the one targeted spell. So being able to kill backliners with Rules of Containment tends to be really valuable. Jack Strips is kind of the same. On the Melting Remnant side, it totally depends on how intense you're going into Melting Remnant. But then double Extinguish triggers is always going to be pretty good with any of the Tombs or Bounty Stalker or Legion of Wax. And then, play it by ear. But a lot of other stuff can be really, really valuable in this area as well. I don't think there's anything else. Oh yeah, Conduit also loves Lost Luggage and loves Winged Steel. Because your spells are typically going to be free, anytime you can get extra draw out of things like this is going to be extremely valuable. All right, enough of this nonsense. We're going to jump into the run now, and we'll just see how it goes. It can go either way. I'm going to be editing it, so you're not going to see the whole run. You're just going to see pieces of it. And I guess I started a new run. We'll just break our streak. I'm going to add in googly eyes. There we go. Cool. And we're going to go Tethys with Dregs. And let's do it to it. All right. So we got Seraph the Temperate. We got Mollusk Mages. I talked about this before in the intro. So Mollusk Mage we might keep if we go Conduit. We also start with 2 drafts, and we start with an unnamed tome. So don't have too many spells to start with. Because we mostly got units here. So we have to see how this goes. A little bit of a tough start though. That's okay. It's a good way to start off the guide with a tough start. Token of a Trader is really good early game. Kinstone is probably not ever going to be used. So we'll take Token of a Trader. And I think we might not take the money here. Okay, so this is going to be a... I did mention I'll take Handheld Totem, but right now we don't have any damage. So I'm going to take Chillwind. Chillwind will be able to kill all the early game bosses. We're absolutely not going to take Divine Boons here. We're even probably going to go right path to go for the Harvest unit. Now this is okay. We can jump block with a few units, and if we can just play any spell at all, like we'll kill 2 of them immediately. So like we can do you. Boom. Play you, and this guy. I'm like, this is already very solid. And you're already dead. Boom. Get wrecked. Okay, so decent early game. I know I said I don't love Ice Tornado. At the same time, I feel like we need some damage if we're going to be using these Mollusk Mages in the long term. I don't know that we're going to use them in the long term, but I'm just saying if we are going to use them in the long term, it's pretty good with Ice Tornado. Molten Encasement, very solid. We will take that. And I think we want a Remnant Banner with some spell upgrades. That's interesting. If we get a -2, we did not get a -2. We get a 10 in Piercing, though. We'll take a Thug for now. We might end up eating it later. Little worried about if we have Sweet Boss, we could be in trouble here. Only thing that could potentially save us is this Tomb. I'm tempted to like go -1, hold over on Ice Tornado because it's so powerful. Would love -2 on it, but like we need something. We need something that can like reliably kill things off. And we just chill now. We chill. We're gonna stay at 0 shards until we have like something very, very solid that we can rely on. I'm nervous to go more shards here. I would really like to play bottom floor if we're able to. So I'm just thinking, like, what if we go... Frozen Lands. Okay, fair enough. We'll go top floor. And we'll just play you guys out like this. We'll get 1 garbage. That's fine. We will be able to kill all these guys off. Good stuff. And since we can't draw these 2 anyway again, this seems okay. So let's play Silence just for fun. This is 90 damage by itself. That seems pretty good. And I think if we just... Actually, it doesn't even matter. We can play you, and we can play the drag, and then you live. Woo! Okay, clean. But more shards would definitely be scary at this point. That's another Ice Tornado. I think it's too much. I think we already have the 1. Molded. I think we have to take a Molded here. These are not the units I'm looking for at all. Do we have another Melting Remnant unit? We can go Remnant Banner again. Yeah, because these are just not good. Gonna skip, and we're gonna go left path, and we're gonna hope that we get a decent Remnant unit here. We will take a Baron. I can take a Baron here. I accept your offer, game. And now I think we want holdover on the Molded. Very easy spell to play. And I think we can merge... Do we put Paraffin Thug onto the Wickless Baron? I think so. I also want to merge the Mollusk Mages. I also want to merge the drafts. So we got plans. We got some plans. Eat Stick. I mean, Blessed Sword is very, very good if we can remove Consume, because it will always do 20 damage piercing. I think we take it and try to remove Consume from it. We could also give it plus 30. Can we handle this many shards at this point? I think we have to try. Because plus 30 is like so freaking good. We don't have remove Consume right now. No, we have add Consume. Remove Consume would be massive for it though. Oh, yeah, we can't remove Consume anyway. We have to wait until after it's sat in our deck for a little while. Okay. You're a double bomb? Well, double bomb these dregs. How about? I'm cool with that. Play this guy here. And I think Tethys just rocks this guy. We have so much extra... Oh yeah, we're just crushing here. Sick. It's good stuff. It's good stuff. We need to merge the 2 Mollusk Mages. So now Hallowed Halls is very interesting. But we have to trim the heck out of the deck if we're going to do Hallowed Halls. I think that's too risky. But how do we keep Tethys alive? Like, Tethys is very sensitive right now. Tethys is very difficult to keep alive. Do we just wait and hope for days? We might just have to wait and hope for days. Ah, man. We can always reform Tethys. That is a thought. I do like a Titan Sentry when it's not in the same build as a Wickless Baron. I think we're going to wait. And we're going to do draw first, and then we'll take capacity second, most likely. Okay, so now we definitely got to get unit upgrades. We got to get this Wickless Baron multi-striking like a fool. Yes. You'd love to see it. We're going to be merging the drafts onto each other. I also feel like just getting this on the molten encasement now and going for endless is not bad. Do we want to just make you thicker? I don't think we want you thicker. I think we want you to have more damage. I think we're going to give you burnout and make... Oh, you know what we do? We make a mollusk mage thicker. That's what we do. And we're going to chill. We'll take the artifact. Oh, so that's interesting. That's very interesting. This is also a draw, which is really good with dregs because they're 0 costs. But Frostbite does not decay is really good against bosses. I think we take the Wing Steel, though. Just to get the extra draw. We're going to go even more on Tethys. And remember, that that molded is held over, so we can bring back whoever. It's like not a big deal. Again, any spell at all just crushes this top floor. And we get all the spells. So we're going to go Baron. You. Now we have to make an important choice. Since this is held over, or since this is permafrosted, I think I like this. Oh, that's actually hilarious. We can kill everything if we want. Sure. Love to see that. Thank you, game. And we should be good already. Like, it's already strong enough. And that's before we bring back this guy, who's just crushing again. Get wrecked. So we have not merged the drafts yet. We have not... Time 2 is interesting. We don't have any discard, though. I'm going to skip here. Stealth. Stealth. Stealth is days in a different direction. And ooh, spell upgrades are really enticing. However, I'm also like, we want to upgrade some units. Let's eat out some train stewards. And the removal is just in general very valuable. These are not really this. I think we just want to make you thick. We don't want to large stone anything. Quick on the draft is probably okay. And let's merge now the drafts together. And then the last merge we're going to do, there's intrinsic onto engulfed in smoke. We would only have to make it 1 cost, and then it's already like pretty good. But I think I'm going to wait. I'll be patient. Minor refraction, you say? Now we don't have to increase capacity. Dang, wish I had large stoned. It's fine. Even just having him not take up as much space is really valuable. Now we can fit Tethys, Draft, Mollusk Mage combo, Wickless Baron, and a Tomb all on the same floor. And that's all pretty good. Let's go. This guy's kind of a jerk. Spell Shield's a little scary. We're not going to immediately be buying stuff, I don't think. Maybe Merchant of Trinket. I mean, we could also dupe our Wickless Baron and get 2 of them. I think we don't take this trial because we need the spells to kill things, and we dupe the Wickless Baron. You're the crappy one. I could try to silence right now, but we can always just do that later. Let's just put you up here to eventually die. That works. And I don't really want to put this Mollusk Mage in there. We're going to chill. Oh, I have Hope for Peace. I got to remember that. Molten Encasement's going to die. We're going to be able to bring it right back. And I think that gets us the kill. Get wrecked. Woo! Scary times. Scary times. And we get the Slay with the Baron. Yeah, so in this case, we're doing a Tethys build that's relying on the reform, relying on all the melting remnant units. It's basically like I was mentioning before. This is one way you can play it. It's not the only way you can play it. There's certainly other ways. Memories of the Melted isn't bad. I don't think it's necessary, though. We have a ton of reform now. We just want a lot of consistency. So I really like going left path, duping the Baron, and taking extra capacity after this next fight. And then we can go spell path, because I think our units are basically there. And if we just have to just keep reforming the stealth, then that's what we do. And that's a-okay for me. I'm kind of wondering, like, do we try to play bottom floor here? But I think we don't do enough damage. Let me think. So Tethys does 50. You're going to do 30. That's 80. You're going to do 45. That's 125. Yeah, not even close. So we're going to play everything up top. Or we'll play you down here. And we'll play Baron, Tethys. That's certainly a thing, but let's hold off on that for now. And we can play you behind just to get another 9 damage. Also play a Train Steward in too. That all seems okay. Cool. I think we're already killing. We are. But why kill when you can really kill? As the saying goes. Blast them. Blast them. We love to see it. So this has been really, really good. Like, this is a solid use of Tethys. Just killing bosses, being a boss killer, and then, like, if Tethys dies, Tethys dies. Siren Song, I think, is unnecessary. Sacrifice Resurrection, while good, doesn't really fit what we're going for here. And I think we do want the extra capacity. So we fit 2 Harvest Barons, the Draft, the Mollusk Mage, and the Stealth Tome. We're still capped out, right? The only thing we don't have Endless is the Molten Encasement, or the only thing we wanted is Molten Encasement Endless. And honestly, it's not even that necessary here. Big fan of putting Mollusk Mage onto Mollusk Mage. Just makes all of our spells way better. I'm also thinking Intrinsic -1 on the Stealth. I think makes a lot of sense. This just means that we can save Tethys the first turn against Divinity or anything else. And we're going to re-roll for hopefully... we can put Consume on one of these. Remove Consume. Fantastic stuff on you. That's great. Now we just play you over and over again. And we can make some Frozen Lances free. Make some other Frozen Lances consume. All good stuff. Yeet out the last 2 Stewards. And I'm liking how this build is coming together. I think this is a good setup. We're not even going to take Conduit here. I mean, Conduit would be okay, but I think it's, again, it's not necessary, so let's not do it. This is a bit scary. But we stealth in our opening hand. Like, we're probably fine. I would love to think that we could play on the bottom floor. I think the likelihood that we can play on the bottom floor is a no. This is 100, 130, 160. If they both gain an extra 6 times 4, 184, plus this, plus this. I mean, it's close. We could kill the front unit. We would not kill the Purifier. The question is, does that matter? Let's try this. Oh wait, no, we're still good. So we play the Engulfed in Smoke now. And then we play the Drag up front. And yeah, we needed to be able to play one more spell, but it's fine. And I think we just kill the boss here. We do. Woo! That's a little bit more intense than I was thinking it was going to be. Anyway, let's play you. Play you. And we're good. Tight. Very tight fight there. But yeah, I mean, Tethys is holding his own. The rest are just kind of playing around him. Around her. And this is looking pretty good. Preserve might not be bad. Another unnamed tome seems unnecessary. Ice Storm is not bad. With plus 20 on the floor, it's a very cheap spell. Remnant Host would be very interesting to put under the stealth. Just to get more harvest triggers and more damage. Or we can put Votavary onto it and make it endless. These are the choices. Neither, because I can't count properly. Or I can't read the map properly. We don't have any other upgrades. So let's just chill. We just chill. And I think over Endless we want the spell upgrades. Let's eat some dregs. And I almost wonder if we want to do one more damage, but this is none of this is particularly. I mean, I guess we could take Boon of the Blacksmith just in case. We don't really have consume spells. Flicker's Licker's pretty good though. You know what I like is -1 holdover on Ice Storm, and it's just always does 21 damage to the whole floor. Cheap way to do damage. Plus 10 on it, it's also not bad. Let's just do plus 10. Plus 10, holdover, and -1 to another Frozen Lance. What do we get here? Another -1. Actually, I like the consume. And then let's purge 2 more dregs. And I feel like this is actually a decent setup. We'll have to see how it goes in practice, but theoretically this is like really strong. We have a lot of high damage spells, a lot of scaling, so we can already get the crew out. So we can go Tethys, Wickless Baron, Maul's Mage, Engulfed in Smoke. And we can start punching fools. Good stuff. Okay. We can play you out here. Hit ya. Play this. Play you. Ice turn it. Do we just hit you for all you're worth? I guess we can just silence you guys. That seems okay. Now we have something to reform every turn, which is pretty good. We can also play you up here. Bring back our stealth. Play the dreg down here. Oh, not there. Whoops. Whoopsies. Get wrecked. Okay, let's bring back a drag. Let's first play Ice Storm. Play you down here. Stealth. Big hit. Big hit. And this is all looking fine. Like, we got a lot of Frostbite onto Seraph right now. Obviously, the slow demise due to the sap isn't great, but it could be a lot worse. Crushing everything. And then I'm thinking like, nah, I think we just keep playing everything up here. Get back up here. Alright, now we can bring back the draft. We want to go hit, hit. Please? It's fine. We're getting a leak. Crazy. But it's only one hit. For 10. Let's bring back a dreg. Hit, hit, stealth, Ice Storm. Oh, we should always play. Oh, we'll not always play that first, but yeah, this is so looking okay. And now, out of sap, we have how much stealth? 9 stealth right now. Let's play stealth first. And Ice Storm. Now this is guaranteed to hit Ice Tornado, which is good for us. And I actually don't want to play Blessed Sword because I want this to die. So we will play Blessed Sword up here for fun. Okay. Good. And let's go stealth. Bring back encasement again. Play ice. Everything's dying. Let's just chill. Okay. Already winning. Before we even play out all of our stuff. Boom. Crushed. Very, very solid. Very, very solid. And we have a lot of ways to prevent Tethys from dying. And even if Tethys dies, we can always bring her back. And I think that's the way you need to play this to make it work really well. Okay, so we're gonna play Tomb up front, you behind. You put you in there as well. And we can stealth here, it's still fine. But it was a little sketch. A little bit sketch. The only question is, do we scale fast enough? The answer is, I certainly hope so. Okay, play you. Play you. You're gonna get hit. We can play you in here to soften the blow a bit. And I kind of like... I think we still just want to kill everything on the one floor. Let's do a whole bunch of damage. Okay. And we just got to rely on our massive AoE. Solid. We got to be very careful here. They have to kill him before. Which means we don't play... We're still killing him. This is all good stuff. Okay. This is one we have to silence. We can play this here, and we're good. Okay. Oh, that would have been a good one to silence. Would have been a good guy to silence, but it's fine. Play you out. Stealth first, then play you. Play this. Play this. Bop. Bop. And that seemed pretty good. Okay, we need to hit some good. Ice Storm's gotta like come in clutch here. Would also be great if in one of these turns... Oh, Blessed Sword, you say. Still play this here. But then... That seems pretty good. Okay, now the moment of truth. Do we do enough damage? Do we do enough damage? Currently not. But we haven't played our spells yet. Let's bring out... I think we have enough stealth for a while. I think getting some extra damage from the draft could be really useful. More so than the stealth. I could actually stealth him as well. We can play that. And then I think it's Ice Storm. And then 1, 2, and we're almost there. The man's gonna die to the pyre in 1 hit because of the frostbite. It's not the end of the world, and we have a lot of really good holdovers. So I think we're in a good spot here. Let's go. You bring back the stealth again. Ice storm. Ice tornado. Okay, it's a little scary. Does Engulfed in Smoke save us more damage than playing Weight of Contrition? This is the question. If I Engulfed in Smoke, you don't die. You do 25 damage. 35, 87, 87, 84, 84. Let's do some math. Time for math! So, we got 286, minus 25, minus 10, minus 87, minus 87, minus 84. That's enough. Stealth will kill the front one, meaning you will take much less damage. Or sorry, you'll take a lot more damage. Yeah, you'll die in 1 hit. Okay, we gotta get some solid... Got some solid spell action. We can play you. Bring back this guy. And gotta play you first. Blessed Sword is amazing. Can play 1, 2, and awesome. Great stuff. Okay, let's bring him back again. Okay. Ice Storm. Ice Tornado. Blessed Sword, the bottom floor. And we should be good. We have a lot of stealth on Tethys. Tethys does a lot of damage. And we got it. So, I mean, it really is just that. If you can keep Tethys alive through stealth, through reform, through, you know, whatever other means necessary, you'll be in a good spot. And I think here we can put Ice Tornado just to see. I wonder if the extra stealth does more. And there you go. So that's one of the 2 paths. So the other path would have been the ultimate Incant build. This was more of a utilizing Melting Remnant to protect Tethys and allow Tethys to be the big boss killer. And then utilizing the mechanics within Melting Remnant to win. So, hope this was helpful for you. Hope you guys enjoyed the run. If you want to give the seed a try, I will make a code for it. And you can practice or try different setups. And with that, this has been Nate. You can also call me Nathan. Please never call me Nathaniel. And I will see you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching.